Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bitcoin video, and today we're going to cover some price action strategies, and we're also going to cover how to identify some key market trends while trading live on Pocket Option. So I'll be walking you through each trade, sharing practical advice, and explaining why I make certain decisions. So stick around because we're not here just to talk theory. We're talking about real-world trading insights. Let's dive right in. All right, so diving into Pocket Option here, we have our setup, and our setup is basically this very simple setup here. We have 10-second time frames, and we also have, as you can see, we're doing 15-second trades right here. We might also do 5-second trades as well, but basically, when identifying key trends, we want to look for things like support and resistance. So let's say in FISA right here, we have some key support levels in various places, okay? And some key resistance levels in various places that we want to take a look at. Okay, so here we have a trade setup for Johnson & Johnson. So it's very simple trade setup. We have a few indicators here. We have the moving averages, we have some ADX, and we're also looking at support and resistance, this generally with some trend lines. Okay, so to start out, we're going to be doing some trades and looking at some trend lines right here. So we have to measure where this is actually going. So by this kind of movement, we can generally see that the trend line, the support level is at roughly this level right here. So roughly this level right here should be the support level. Okay, so we're here on Tesla, and as you can see, this just did cross below. So we're actually going to be selling relatively soon. As we can see, the trend is generally speaking going downwards right here. So it's going downwards quite a bit. So we're going to be selling once it goes back up a little bit. And we see there's this support level right here that we have to be conscious of. So we have to be conscious of this, okay? So we don't want to trade below this level because it likely won't go too much below this level right here, because this is a support level right here. So let's wait for this trade to complete, and voila. Okay, so there is a profit. So why was this a profit? So this was a profit because, as we can see, there's a crossover right here, crossover downwards. And as we can see, there's just generally speaking a huge trend downwards, and we can see this with the moving average right here. Okay, so right here we have a moving average of 100. So this is just a very, very general moving average, and we can see that the general moving average is just trending downwards. If it's trending upwards, we can also look at the same kind of momentum as well. If it's trending upwards, we can kind of see that when it crosses upwards and it's trending upwards, it'll generally speaking go up quite a bit. And same thing when it goes down, just like just now. Okay, so it did cross over downwards and it did fall down quite a bit. Okay, and as we see, the general trend line is going downwards. And of course, be conscious of the support level. Like I said, the support level was met right here, and it did go upwards. Okay, so right here now it's a little bit uncertain because there's no clear support resistance level to base your trades off of. Okay, so here this is just no really clear plan of movement. We might go to a different stock unless this crosses over upwards, and even if so, the trend is still downwards, so we can actually see if it goes up or down. Okay, so as we can see here, crosses over upwards, but it has a general speaking trend downwards. Okay, so we can see that it's not very steady. Okay, so you want to consider the general moving average when you do these trades as well. So the general moving average here, which is the 100 moving average, is saying that this will very, very likely go down. It won't go up that much. As we see here, it is going up slightly, but not by a large margin. So it is a lot riskier. So we want to check out some different stocks, check out their support resistance levels, and we also want to check their trends. Okay, so here we see that things are trending upwards. Well, for this ExxonMobil, okay, And when it crosses over here and we see this general trend upwards, we can generally speaking see that actually there's a trend downward. There's a crossover downwards actually. Sorry about that. So here it isn't super steady. So what we ideally want to see is we want to see the moving average upwards and also a crossover upwards. Okay, that's the ideal trade when it comes to trend following. So here the trend isn't very solid, so I won't make any concrete trades, but we can check out some different stocks. So Twitter here, we have no solid trend. There's a very slight trend upwards, and there was this crossover upwards as well. Whether it's done or not is inconclusive, because we're not sure if this is actually upwards or downwards, because this isn't a very good trend line. Okay, so we're not going to take a risk on that. We're going to go Microsoft. So Microsoft here, it did trend downwards, and it's trending downwards here, as we can see. So this does hold true. So it crossed over downwards, and then of course the general moving average is downwards. So we see that it went down quite a bit. Now let's just go here. We see a general trend upwards while it's downwards here. So it's not very steady. So just to find the right opportunity, it takes time to find the right opportunity. Okay. So we can take over McDonald's potentially. Trend upwards. And as we see, crossed over, went up a huge amount. Citigroup, trend upwards, went up a huge amount. Okay, and right here, we can see that it might be trending upwards slightly. If there's any good support levels, the next best support level is right around here actually. So it'll likely go down to around this level, around here. So that's definitely a riskier trade to take part in. Okay. We can take a look at some of the support levels, some of the resistance levels. So some of the resistance levels right here, like right here, it's going down potentially. Okay, so I might actually want to sell when it goes back up a little bit. Okay, resistance level, and it goes up, and we're gonna be selling here. And we're just trending off of this resistance level. This is a little bit riskier since this is generally trending upwards, and we want to follow the kind of trend. Okay, so unless you see some very, very solid resistance or support level, then it's generally taking a riskier trade. And we saw here that I lost a trade. It was a riskier trade because it was trending upwards and I was selling. Okay, you generally speaking want to buy when it's trending upwards and sell when it's trending downwards. Visa here, it's trending downwards. And let's see here. Very, very, a lot of oscillation that's happening right here. So it's not very steady when it's with this price movements. That exponentially. A lot of downwards movement, and it's starting to turn downwards here. So as we can see, there was some price action that happened here that caused this to go down quite a bit. There's no great opportunity here. It doesn't seem to be going upwards now. It seems to be crossing over downwards. So when it crosses over downwards and there's an upward momentum, unless there's a very solid support or resistance, then it's not the best trade to partake in. It's right here. The best resistance we have is roughly around this level right here. So unless it reaches this level, we won't be selling. This could potentially be a resistance level right here as well, but it would be a very weak resistance level. So we're not going to be selling, and especially since it's trending upwards, it's not the best idea. it actually might be trending upwards right here. It might be doing a crossover. And if it does do a crossover, it would be the optimal time to buy. However, there is a resistance here, so we do have to take that into consideration. So we're gonna riff off this, and it did do the crossover there, but there is a resistance here. So, so as you can see, it might be a loss. Okay, it was a loss. It's okay. We're in the red, but that's just a lesson learned that not all trades are successful. We can look here, and we see that it did cross over upwards, and it is trending upwards, but there is a resistance level right here. So you do have to look at all these different indicators at the same time, and certain indicators, like a resistance level right there, it indicated that this was a higher risk trade. Okay, so you have to consider risk and reward when doing your trades. There, I decided to take the risk. Facebook is generally trending upwards a little bit, so we'll see if it crosses upwards right here, then it would be optimal to buy. And we can see the general kind of trends that's happening here. We decided to buy. There's a general resistance level right here, and as we can see, it generally speaking tends to spike upwards when it hits this level right here. Okay, and it's trending upwards, so I didn't even need to see that that it crossed over, let's say. Okay, so right here is a general resistance level, and it might actually reach. There's actually a breakout downwards happening right now, but luckily we caught the upwards momentum when it hit the resistance level right here. Okay, so as you can see, the trend line is roughly here when making a trade. Okay, and here now it's not very steady since that it's moving downwards, and it's probably going to cross over downwards, and it's upwards, so it's not very steady. It's not the best trade stock to trade right now. So I'm going to move to a different stock. Actually, Twitter, not super steady either. Let's go back to Tesla. Okay, so now here's this downwards momentum, downwards price movement, and we see that it crossed over downwards here. Is there any support or resistance level that is fairly substantial? Not really. It's kind of at a all-time low right here, so you can't really riff off anything really. Go to Microsoft, and here we have a low. Twitter right here. We have some decent price movement upwards, but here there is some substantial price movement downwards. So even the 100 line right here is not very certain of the movements here. So we want to be conscious of that. Intel here, not the best. A lot of conflicting signals, which we don't want. So here we have upwards movement. Okay, so we can just kind of see the general trend here. So there's this right here, this right here. So the chances it'll go up is fairly high, because it's just, general speaking, a support level right here. It might be a little bit lower actually, but yeah. Generally speaking, a trend line is always best practice. So let's take that loss right there and draw the trend line. Trend line is moving this way, roughly. Okay, so it's actually right around here, should be the trend upwards. I did do a downwards crossover right here, so it's not very certain, but I'm fairly certain it will go up from here. Okay, there we go. We made the money back. That's great. So we have this support level right here that we want to take advantage of. Okay, this is a breakout downwards. Actually, it broke out below the support level, That is a rare occurrence, but it does happen. So we're going to take that loss there. Not any super big trends happening right there. Microsoft, a little bit of upwards trend now. So we see here there's a crossover. And with this crossover upwards, with this generally speaking upwards momentum, it did go up quite substantially. So we can see here that there's a generally speaking a resistance level right here. Might go up a little bit to this resistance level, then it will likely plummet. So I might want to do slightly longer trade for this one, 30 seconds potentially, and sell here. Unless this is a breakout, but I'm fairly confident that it will. This is a resistance level that will hold. So let's see about this. It's fairly uncertain about this. Okay, there we go. So it's great that we changed this price, this time right here, to a little bit longer term. Okay. So we see here that this was a resistance level. This isn't very steady, so this was a little bit riskier. But I did say this at a higher time, so we have more time for this to go downwards. And it's actually breaking out right now. So you can see the general trend right here. See the general trend, okay? So right now it's a little bit riskier, so I wouldn't make any trade right now. But let's go to Citigroup. Right here, there's a little bit of trendwards downwards, actually. So when it crosses over downwards, it's definitely a good opportunity to buy. There's no solid support or resistance right here. So I wouldn't count on it. Go to FedEx. So downwards, there might be some downwards movement right here now. So it might cross over downwards. Okay. This is slightly longer trade. I did mean to put this back at a 5-second trade, but let's see how this plays out. There's downwards right here, as you see, crossover downwards. All right, there we go. That's a profit right there. And so crossover downwards, and it was generally speaking moving down right here. So we made a profit. So that's the general strategy, right? You see it down, you see the general movement downwards. You see the crossover downwards. Then you can kind of just make an educated guess that it will continue to go downwards. At least in this short time frame. Like a few more trades here. Let's go to Boeing. On Boeing, there isn't any very solid price movements. Because it did trend downwards just now, and now it's trending slightly upwards. It's not very steady, I would say. Put Intel. Here it's downwards moving. A lot of oscillation happening right here, so it might do a breakout actually. You see a lot of oscillation. There's likely going to be a breakout soon, but right here, I believe this is an all-time low of this. Yeah. So for this time frame right here, all-time low. So right here it did cross over downwards, I believe. So it makes sense it's going downwards, everything's going downwards. I wouldn't make a trade here because it's quite risky because it might break out upwards now. But perhaps if met a certain resistance level, give or take, that's the resistance level right there. It doesn't seem to be approaching that right now, but when it does go back up to that level, potentially, it might be a good time to sell. Okay. Right. So see here, that's not really moving anywhere. Might check up on this later. I'm going to go to Pfizer for now. See here. Nothing super big. Tesla. Downwards movement, crossover downwards. Somewhat promising. Let's see here. So it did have a huge downwards spiral right here. Went back up. And here. Yeah, nothing super sturdy, but yeah, I wouldn't say this is a support level any significant kind, but let's check back up until here, and here we can sell. Just hit that that resistance level right here, and as we see, things are generally speaking trending downwards. So with this assumption, you can kind of just guess that things will continue to go downwards a little bit more, especially if it hits a resistance level like this one. Okay, and there was a profit just now. So we're going to wrap this video up with this trade right here. So the general key takeaways are that you generally want to see a good moving average that is fairly large. Let's say a period of 100 or so, right? A bulk adoption. And you want to see that kind of trending in a general direction, fairly sturdy. Okay, you don't want to see any like super big price swings or something like not very stable. Okay, because as you saw that I made some mistakes because I didn't look at the moving average very closely. And generally speaking, of course, you want to see some crossovers, because that's just an indication of where the price is going to go next. So if there's a crossover upwards right here, like right here, you can generally try to assume that the price will trend upwards a little bit. Now, for how long, we're not sure, because we have a trend downwards here. So we generally just speaking want to see some really good trends, some really good support trends, some really good resistance trends, some really good moving average trends, and some crossover to support that as well. So these are the kind of main takeaways from this video here. And if you want bulk adoption, 50% off your first deposit on bulk adoption, go visit bitcoin.net. We offer 50% off your first deposit on bulk adoption, and we also offer trading forecasts for currency exchanges and a lot more. So visit bitcoin.net today to get 50% off your first deposit on bulk adoption and to support your trades with trading forecasts.